Hey bros and hoes, I'm sure this is the moment you've all been waiting for, my inevitable drag tutorial. So first I started off with a nice clean shave, and then I move into covering my eyebrows. Now this is something I've never done before, so it actually took me 4 or 5 tries to get it to the stage that it was for this tutorial. Mind you, I did actually forget a step, so they aren't as great as they could have been. So the only thing that I missed is actually scraping off glue stick and moving it into the creases in my eyebrows to kind of fill up that space, so that way I don't get that oatmeal brow, which if you've ever done drag or know any drag queens, you know that that's pretty gross, chunky appearance where your eyebrows should be. Anyway, so basically I've just gone over them against the grain, then brushed them out, then I blow dry them, and I went through again. This is where you would go and scrape off the glue stick and use it to fill the holes. Once I'm done, I just apply some, I applied some powder just to help set the glue stick, so that way it would be nice and dry, so that way when I put my foundation on top, the foundation could set. And then I just brush away the excess, and now I'm going to go in with my colored concealer, and I'm going to use the blue shade to cancel out the brown of my eyebrows. And as you can see, it really does matte out the ends of my eyebrows. I am keeping the front bit of my eyebrows, just because I didn't want to pencil in the whole brow. I just felt like that would look too artificial. So I'm just going to go in with some loose powder and set that concealer. And after this, I'm just going to go into the rest of my face and just apply foundation. So I'm really making sure that I'm using a full coverage foundation. You really want to make sure that there's absolutely nothing visible from your actual face, because you really want to be able to rebuild a whole new face. You want to transform yourself from a man into a woman. So you really want to make sure that you're really getting 100% full coverage. I'm whitening over my lips as well. That's a little trick if you're doing lipstick or a full coverage lipstick look. If you put a foundation over your lips, it helps to prime for the lip look. So that's a really helpful trick if you're wearing lipstick on the reg. On the reg. It kind of sounds like I'm saying on the rag. I don't know, I'm tired. Sorry. Anyway. Now I'm just going to go in and cover my under eye bags, any puffiness I might have. I'm using the green to kind of cancel out my razor burn, plus any blemishes and redness around my nose. And again, I'm just applying another coat of blue to my eyebrows to really make sure I'm concealing as much as I can. As you can see, during the whole look, I'm just going to continue going back to my brows, because like I said, I didn't do it properly. So every single step of the way I had to go back and add more makeup on top of them because they weren't done properly at the beginning. So this is actually the first time I've ever done drag, so there is a lot of learning that goes into this tutorial. I'm just adding another full coverage concealer, and finally I get a full coverage on those brows. Now I'm just going to apply my contour. If you watched my men's versus women's contour tutorial, you can see some of the tricks that I talk about there taking place here. The only main difference is that I'm cutting off my jaw here. So a woman would never really do that unless she had a really super square jaw she wanted to conceal. But since I'm a man, I have a big manly jaw, so I have to hide my big man jaw. So I'm just going to basically blend out this super hard contour. Now the thing is that it is drag, so I'm not too worried about looking super natural and super discreet about my makeup. The contour is really loud, but it really kind of has to be, as far as I know, to really get that super transformative look, because you really are trying to create a whole new face. So here I'm creating a little button nose, because I really want to totally restructure my face. I don't want to just take what I've got and make it look feminine. I really want to give myself a new nose, a new chin, new bone structure. Another thing that I noticed looking back at the footage is that I really wish I had done a more drastic incline on my cheekbones. I kind of stuck to my natural bone structure here. But I would have really liked to have made that a little bit more sleek, given myself a little bit more round, plump cheekbones. So now I'm applying finishing powder all over my face, and then I'm going to let it cook, which is a drag term. Basically, you're going to apply finishing powder and let it sit for about 10 minutes so that it really, really sinks into the foundation. So now that I'm done letting it cook, I'm just going to brush away all the excess foundation. Not foundation, sorry, but finishing powder. Ooh. And now I'm just going to blend it in again. I'm just taking some foundation and just kind of topping it up, so that way the contour is a little bit less intense. Now I'm going to go in with a bronzer, and I'm just going to kind of buff it in and really harden up on those cream contours I put in earlier. So I'm really focusing on the cheek, the jawline, the hairline. If I was wearing a wig, I would go in and at the very, very the hairline just as it meets my skin, where my hair meets my skin, go in with a really, really dark color. So that way when I put on my wig, I would have that really nice transition into hair as opposed to that wig. So it doesn't look like I'm wearing a hat, it looks like hair. Now that I've done my bronzer, I'm going to go in and really, really define that nose. Like I said, I really want to restructure the nose. Another trick that I'm doing here is I'm reshaping my nostrils. I have really wide nostrils, so I really shorten them. I cut them short so that way I could get a really smaller, more buttony nose. I put a shadow under my lip, but I put it almost a ½ inch away. You'll see why in a minute, because I'm actually going to overdraw my lip by a fairly large amount. So now what I'm doing is I'm shortening my chin and I'm giving myself a butt chin. Just because I really want it to be a more dramatic finish. Like I said, I really want to play with the structure of my face and give myself a new face. So now I'm going in and I'm re-adding highlights after I've added in the shadows. So now as you can see, I've got a brand new nose. And I'm just putting highlights on the butt chin to really let it stand out. I'm going to re-highlight under my jawbone and at my, right on the ocular bone at the tops of my cheekbones. Just because those ones have kind of matted out or faded away because I added so much bronzer. So now I have to kind of go back in and add those highlights again. Can't forget the forehead. So I'm really, really minimizing that forehead. So now I'm going on to the lips. As you can see, I'm overdrawing my lips quite a bit. I really want to give myself a brand new set of lips. I want to get collagen injections in 10 seconds. So I'm really overdrawing my lips. I'm actually using a black eyeliner because I do not have a lip liner. So work with what you got. It is drag. It's always fun to go a little bit overboard. I'm actually going to ombre my lips as well. So I'm actually bringing the liner about 3/4 of the way into my lips, just at the ends. This also gives my lips a plumping effect. It makes my lips look really engorged and wide. So now I'm gonna go in with a lipstick crayon. It's just from the drugstore. Let me know if you want to know any of the products that I'm using. I must admit I used a lot of products, so unless you actually ask for it, I probably will not list them, only because I'm a lazy bitch. So now I'm going in with white eyeshadow. This is actually another drag trick. It's called dog booty hole, because what it actually does is it really exaggerates the highlight and makes your lips look far larger and far more engorged, kind of like a dog booty. So now I'm going in with the eyes. Now, if you've ever watched any of my tutorials, you know that I am not an eye queen. I am not very good with eyes. I just don't have very much practice with it, especially since I focus most of my makeup on men. It's not a look I usually do. So I really did a simple eye. I'm just really gonna give myself a more sunken in eye socket by adding those shadows. Then I'm just going to go around and highlight around the eye, especially at the corner and underneath the eyebrow, or my new eyebrow. Now this is actually hilarious. I've never put on liquid eyeliner in my life. It was so awkward to do. But after a while, as you can see, it kind of I kind of caught on to it. It kind of fell into place for me, but it was definitely not like riding a horse. It was definitely a bit of a challenge, but it was fun. I'm glad I learned something new. Now mascara. Now this girl has put on mascara before. Yep. Ooh, I'm a pretty girl. I have to say that my favorite part of this look had definitely been the lips. I really loved the lip transformation. I really enjoyed the nose. So now I'm going in with that liquid eyeliner and remaking my brow because I've covered my brow, so I'm just giving myself a new elongated brow. I went in earlier with bronzer. Sadly, that kind of wound up on the cutting room floor. I had to cut something. Like I said, I had almost an hour and a half of footage that I had to shave down to a mere 12 minutes so that I didn't bore you guys to tears. Now I'm just going to be adding a skin finish just to the highlights of my face, also to just kind of give myself back that skin, that real skin glow. And again, I'm just applying it to the lip to really give myself that engorged look. Ooh, I'm so pretty. I'm a pretty, pretty girl. So I didn't choose a drag name. Please let me know in the comments below what you think she should be called. She's a pretty lady. She's a pretty queen. Think she deserves a pretty regal, pretty gorgeous name. Yeah, and like I said, this is my first time ever trying drag on myself. I've done drag on other people, but never on myself. So let me know if you have any tips or tricks to share. So this is me, all natural, and this is Madame La Foo-Foo-Fee-Fee Poopy Face. Let me know in the comments below, of course, if you have a name for her, because I really think she deserves to have her own name, to be a star. Also, please, again, let me know in the comments below if you have any tips or tricks on how to do drag, or if there's anything that you saw me do that you think I can improve. Thanks so much for watching, and talk to you later, bros and hoes.